Hi, my name is Kristen Watson, and I'm going to tell you about a topic that most people don't know a lot about, and that is coral bleaching. Most people don't know a lot about it because it is out of sight and out of mind. It's underwater. But getting the word out, it brings light to the problem, but also shows its importance. Spanning 344,400 square kilometers, and home to more than 2,900 individual reefs and 900 islands, is an ecosystem called the Great Barrier Reef, an ecosystem that is dying. Working towards a career in biology myself, specifically marine conservation, I have done a lot of research on coral bleaching myself and hope to one day help the coral reefs and go and dive. The death of the corals on the Great Barrier Reef is causing Australia to lose profit and jobs. It's affecting other marine life also because they have to relocate or because their food source is dwindling. But scientists are working hard to help the Great Barrier Reef and help these corals grow back faster. Coral bleaching impacts countries all over the world, but today I'm going to focus on the Great Barrier Reef in Australia because it is the one that was the most affected. Tourism pulls in billions of dollars annually in Australia. Scuba diving, snorkeling, kite sailing, and even taking small planes to view the Great Barrier Reef from above. Per the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, under an article titled International Tourism Engagement, they say, Australia is a world-leading tourist destination. Our tourism sector contributes $152 billion to our economy and supports more than 300,000 businesses and employs more than 660,000 Australians. The fishing industry in Australia is also very important, but because of the coral bleaching events, a lot of the factories have had to import fish. In a 2017 Netflix documentary called Chasing Coral, we could see just how near and dear to their hearts the Australians and other citizens held the Great Barrier Reef. Dr. John Charlie Vaughan, a coral guru, or also called the godfather of coral, was interviewed, and he spoke about his recent years as a marine biologist and a marine conservationist when he used to dive in the Great Barrier Reef. He said, "Then it was a totally different mindset because the reef was there forever. There was no question about it. I even wondered why you would want to make it a marine park. It's so big, nothing's going to touch the Great Barrier Reef." But it doesn't just affect the people, it affects the marine life also. The corals dying have caused a couple animals to be added to the endangered animals list. A couple are 4 species of sea turtle, 2 species of whale, crocodiles, and dugong, which is kind of like a sea cow. But scientists are working hard to counteract the declination of the Great Barrier Reef and other reefs around the world. Per the Coral Restoration Foundation website, under an article titled Rainforest of the Sea, the site explains in scientific terms how corals survive. They say, corals get their energy in 2 different ways. Most of the corals' energy is provided by an algae, which has a symbiotic relationship with coral. The algae, which is called zooxanthellae, lives inside the coral tissues and photosynthesizes energy from them both, which means they work together to survive. Zooxanthellae produce around 90% of the coral's energy, and they are responsible for coral's distinctive color. Corals capture the remaining 10% of energy themselves. So when the water heats up, the corals expel the algae from their cells, and this inevitably gets rid of 90% of their food source. So in the end, it takes about 2 to 3 months and they do die off. Scientists have also come up with another way to help corals grow back 10 times faster, which is called coral fragmentation. So they will cut the corals into small slivers and put them in a tank in a lab. And then when they are big enough, they'll redistribute them back into the coral, and that's how they'll grow faster. Australia has also made artificial reefs. The first one was in Watson Bay in 2011, and it was a success. It brought a lot of marine life back to the waters close to Australia. The marine life count on us. The countries like Australia count on us. And with scientists' help, this could be a pivotal point in saving 344,000 square kilometers of islands and reefs. With the help of so many people local and from afar, we can save the greatest reef on this earth. And in doing so, we can learn from our Australian friends who view these ecosystems as a personal responsibility that should be saved for future generations. Thank you.